80 Canadians are on the list of foreigners who are scheduled to leave Gaza today through the border crossing, exactly 1 month since the deadly Hamas massacre ignited the Israel-Hamas war. The Palestinian Border Authority this morning released a list containing the names of 80 Canadians who potentially will be allowed to cross into Egypt. The only route out of Gaza not controlled by Israel was closed over the weekend because of safety concerns. It reopened yesterday. From the Rafah crossing, the Canadians will be taken by bus to Cairo. With me now is Mansour Shauman, a Canadian in Gaza. He is trying to get his 5 children across the Rafah border today. He joins me now to discuss. Mansour, what is happening with your family right now?
Thank you for having me. Good morning, Canada. Today at 12:50 a.m., we got an email from Global Affairs saying that myself, my wife, and my 5 children are enlisted at the Rafah border, confirmed to be able to cross from the Palestinian territories into Egypt and to be there at 9 a.m. My wife and 5 kids have reached the Rafah border. I hope that by this time they are now in Egypt, together with the other Canadians. I am personally staying behind to try and help with the humanitarian situation here.
That is an incredible decision to leave your family and stay behind in Gaza. What led to that?
Yes, as a father, as a husband, definitely it's a difficult decision. But there are 2.3 million other civilians here in Gaza which need help and support in many different ways. For example, in the first week of this war, of this genocide against the Palestinian people here, the Israeli propaganda, especially in the West, especially in the English language, was so strong, was so overwhelming. And that's when volunteers such as myself decided to, you know what, let's try to help get the true word of what's happening in the ground in English to the global audience, to the Canadian audience. For the last 3 weeks, together with the free people in the world, we were able to bring the true picture of what's happening. Over 10,000 Palestinian civilians killed, over 25,000 injured, thousands under the rubble, 1.5 million displaced, 70% of the infrastructure destroyed. Hospitals being bombed, churches being bombed, monasteries being bombed, cultural centers being bombed. There is no place safe here in Gaza.
And yet you decided to stay. Can you take us back to that moment where you received that email just hours ago saying that your family could leave? How did you feel? How did your family feel?
We've received several emails and notices and phone calls over the last week. First, it was November the 3rd, then the 4th, then the 5th, then the 7th. So every time there was a feeling of happiness and then disappointment. So every time we got an email, we took it with a light grain of salt, thinking that, you know what, maybe the Israeli government will also filter this out or will not allow us to leave. But thank God that this time, the reality came true. And we hope that this will be the beginning of Canada's role as a peacemaker, as a global. In its history, Canada has always brought peace between nations and countries. Canada was never a part or a side in a conflict. So we hope that this will be start of a ceasefire, of the borders truly opening to anyone who wants to leave or enter, for the thousands of aid trucks to come in and help the 2.3 million civilians here.
Mansour, what will happen to your family once they get through? And from what I understand, from what you're telling us, you don't know. They could have already passed. What happens to them once they get through the Rafah crossing?
As per the email from the Canadian government, we were told that there will be consular officials on the Egyptian side to help assist the Canadians. And the Egyptian government has agreed to grant 72 hours of residence to all Canadians that have entered Egypt today, and that the Canadian government will help support with providing basic accommodation, food, and necessities. So I think the next 72 hours they will be spending in Egypt, and next steps are right now unclear. Hopefully they will go to a safe place temporarily until things ease here in Gaza, and then we are reunited together to help rebuild this country back.
Is there a plan for your family or for yourself at some point to come to Canada?
Of course, why not? I mean, Canada is my home. I've been a Canadian passport holder since 2006. I have an engineering degree from Queen's University. I have an MBA from the University of Calgary. Two of my kids were born in Canada. We have lots of friends and family. I think you have
Mansour,
to take it
thank you.
day by day now. And
Go ahead. Sorry, your shot froze. Go ahead.
no, no, thank you. I think we have to take it day by day. And, hopefully, once things become clear, me and my family will be reunited either here in Canada or someplace else.
Mansour Shauman, we thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us and share your news, your family's news, that they are able to leave Gaza, and hopefully safe travels for all of them. All the best to you. We will speak with you again.